Yali Madad everyone. My name is Rosina Badruddin Golani.
My name is Alif Kalfan.
My name is Zara Amiri.
My name is Adnan Durrani.
Yali Madad. My name is Rosmin Kabani.
Yali Madad. My name is Zul Budwan.
My name is Nisha Karasi.
Yali Madad. My name is Imran Ali.
Yali Madad. My name is Ashraf Moktajani.
Yali Madad. I'm Rafiq Ahmed.
हर सेवाधारी ये अच्छी तरह से समझ सकता है कि सेवा के बगैर जिंदगी जीने का कोई मकसद नहीं रहता.
Ya Ali Madad, and welcome to Sundays with Us. My name is Zara Lalani, and today we'll be exploring the spirit of volunteerism within our Jamaat. But first, a few words from U.S. National Council President Al-Karim Alidina.
My brothers and sisters, Yali Madad, thank you for joining us this Sunday for a special episode exemplifying the heartwarming work of our volunteers. One of the absolute joys of my role has been the up-close view I get of the wonderful work of the volunteers in our Jamaat. In good times and bad, our volunteers remain a consistent and dedicated feature of Jamaati work. My colleagues and I continue to be in awe of the sheer number of Jamaati members who have been willing to step forward to help. The quality of their work, and most importantly, the depth of their caring during this time of a global pandemic when each volunteer also has to worry about their own family's safety, health, and livelihood. I am excited because in today's episode, we get to give you a glimpse of the amazing work that we have seen these past few months in particular. When we say the word volunteer, the first image that comes to most of our minds is the smiling face of a person wearing the familiar dark blue uniform with a green and red scarf or a tie, and of course, the horse badge. This image has come to define our perception of a volunteer in the Jamaat, and rightfully so. But we also have so many other volunteers who also serve the Jamaat and our Imam. For each uniformed volunteer, we have just as many, if not more, non-uniformed volunteers who go about their work with the same degree of passion, dedication, and care as we see from our brothers and sisters in uniform. Today's telecast will share with you some of the work and the experiences of our non-uniformed volunteers as well. This episode also gives us an opportunity to reflect upon the deep and symbiotic relationship between Seva, or service, and our sense of community. As a community, we are first and foremost tied together by the common thread that is our love for Maulana Hazri Imam. Seva also plays an important role in bringing us together and closer. For so many of us, while our Seva gives us an opportunity to contribute and serve the Jamaat, it also is a vehicle through which we connect socially with our fellow Jamaati members and through which we ourselves continue to learn and gain knowledge and insight. All of us find a sense of community and camaraderie amongst the uniform and non-uniform volunteers, ECD teams, board members, REC teams, safety teams, task force members, or many other groups in which we serve. Community is more than just a collection of people. It is also the interactions amongst them. Seva establishes and strengthens these connections on a regular basis, and in so doing, strengthens our sense of community and our sense of belonging. It is almost impossible to observe our Jamaat without noticing the ethic of service. Like a fractal pattern, this ethic manifests itself at all scales, no matter how much we zoom out or zoom in. We see service exemplified at a global scale in the quality and quantity of TKN and other volunteers, and we see it at an individual level in the care and tenderness with which our volunteers serve. As you watch today's telecast session, I hope you are able to see some of these elements in the stories and the words of the volunteers being profiled who exemplify the service of countless others. What we present to you today is but a tiny, tiny microcosm of the full scope of work of all volunteers who are serving. There is no way that hundreds of such episodes, let alone one, can paint a full picture of this work. So here is but a glimpse that we hope you enjoy. Until next time, please remember to wear a face covering, maintain physical distancing, and avoid social gatherings, please. I wish you and your family the best of health and happiness.
Those were some inspiring words from President Al-Karim. Today, we'll see his words come to life through stories and experiences of Jamaati members who have engaged in some incredible work over the last several months. With each Jamaati member, we'll explore initiatives that have taken place behind the scenes for the advancement of Ismailis at home and abroad, as well as for the benefit of members of other communities amongst whom we live. Furthermore, we'll get a better understanding of these volunteers' motivations to serve and their advice on how to stay engaged even during these trying times. Let's meet some of our volunteers.
My motivation is the vision of our beloved Maulana Hazar Imam. I feel blessed to be able to serve his vision through EPV platform.
Volunteerism in Seva to me means trying to make a meaningful impact in an individual's life or in the community. Doesn't matter how you volunteer your time or do Seva. I think it's just the hope and the goal that you make a meaningful impact in an individual's life or in the community.
Just take part in this project was to have fun, make friends, and share my knowledge and learn from each other.
To me, volunteerism is second nature. It's something I do that is just a normal part of my life. It's so ingrained in my identity that it's like a muscle of my body. And just like any muscle, I need to exercise it. And after doing so, I get to experience the joy that it brings me.
What's my voco? What's the calling for me? What is my purpose of life? And that's when I realized that I love helping people develop, grow.
When you do the service with passion, with love, with heart, you will receive the return. At any cost, there is nothing that can stop.
So I've always remembered a firman that Maulana Hazar Imam said that even making someone smile is a form of service. To me, volunteering is not only a commitment, but a yearning that I have that helps me become closer to the Imam and the vision that he has for all of us. He always says that when he's happy with you, he gives you Seva. And when he's even more happy with you, he gives you more Seva. For me, Seva is a way of life, and without it, I don't feel complete.
My biggest motivation is their smile. जैसे ही मैं उनके चेहरों पे मुस्कुराहट देखती हूँ, मैं अपने आप को बहुत खुशकिस्मत समझती हूँ.
When I reflect on why I try to give of my time, I often go back to Hazar Imam's guidance on how the ethic of volunteerism and social responsibility is really a core value of our faith in Islam. Education and success is so limited if we're not able to share it with others. And this service to the Jamaat and the larger community is something that has really tied me to my family across multiple generations. As my great-grandparents migrated from India to Burma, and my grandparents and parents went from Burma to Pakistan to the US, they've always been able to serve the Imam and the Jamaat. And for me, my educational and professional opportunities that I've been blessed with would not have been possible without the Jamaat and Jamaati programs wherever we've been. And for me, it's truly a privilege to find new ways and new opportunities to contribute to this legacy of service for the next generation.
Because of programs like iStar, Girl Scouts, and the Mayat Committee, I was given the opportunity to have a strong future, and this was 30 years ago. Since my youth, Jamaat Khana has added more programs, more support, more resources, and all of this was due to the time and effort put into by silent volunteers, ones I never saw, never heard, but were ensuring my success behind the scenes. The time that was put into me by the Ismaili community is the only reason I am the person I am today. And me putting my time back into that community is just a small thank you for shaping me to becoming the Ismaili woman in technology that I am today.
As Naila mentioned, there are a number of silent volunteers who dedicate time, effort, and resources into bringing programming to life for the Jamaat. Today, we'll meet a handful of these volunteers and learn more about their contributions. We begin with a speech by Maulana Hazar Imam made in Berlin, Germany, about the Ismaili community's long tradition of philanthropy.
I am fortunate to lead an international community with a strong social conscience. Bridging north and south, east and west, the Ismailis have a long tradition of philanthropy, self-reliance, and voluntary service. Wherever they live, they faithfully abide by the Quranic ethic of a common humanity and a dignity of man. They willingly pool knowledge and resources with all those who share our social ethic to help improve the quality of life of less fortunate men, women, and children.
The first set of programs we will explore falls under the theme of social ethic, or social conscience. For us, social conscience is something rooted in the shared ethic among all Muslims, a religious obligation to care for one another. It is an integral part of our faith, and it is demonstrated by helping those less fortunate through our financial, intellectual, spiritual, or physical resources. Let's delve deeper into 3 projects: Economic Planning Board's Face Mask Project, Crafty Hands; Youth and Sports Board's I Serve, Mayor's Milk Food Drive; and a TKN assignment that took a Jamaati member to Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan to teach at the University of Central Asia.
I am the National Project Manager of the Mask Project. This project was launched for Jamaati members due to COVID-19. Leila Jivani, who is a regional EPB member, first started this project in her region. Shanila Babul, who is a member of National Economic Planning Board, approached me and asked me if I was interested in doing this project nationally.
Ya Ali Madad. It was around late March when the sudden harsh hit of the pandemic had overnight decimated the income of so many families. At that time, the Economic Planning Board was getting flooded with lost income cases. There were no jobs available in the market, especially cash jobs.
This project is ongoing in 5 regions: Central, Midwest, Southeast, Southwest, and Northeast. We started this project with 108 participants, and the regional project managers are doing an amazing job on the ground level in teaching the beneficiaries how to make and sell masks. We have sold up till now about 95,000 masks. We have started making different kinds of masks, like children's masks. That is going to help us in the demand for the back to school in all the regions. We have also started making masks for weddings or birthdays or Christmas, or any kind of occasion that you can think of, and we'll make it.
So the idea was that Layla got members that were impacted to start making face masks at home. And from there, what we did is we leveraged our relationship with the local trade associations as well as wholesalers that were looking for this product. And from there, we were able to start creating income earning opportunities as well as fulfill a need. What motivates me to be a part of projects like this is the hope of making a positive impact in someone else's life.
मेरा नाम फरीदा अली है। मैं स्टेफर्ड टेक्सास में रहती हूँ। हाल ही में मैंने EPV की जानिब से मास्क प्रोजेक्ट में हिस्सा लिया। इस पेंडेमिक के वक्त जहाँ लोगों के पास जॉब नहीं थी, वहाँ पर मैंने अपनी सलाहियत का सही इस्तेमाल किया और अपने खानदान की मदद की। मैं उसका बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ।
યાલી મદદ, મારું નામ સુલતાના પડાણિયા છે। હું હ્યુસ્ટન ટેક્સાસમાં રહું છું। હાલમાં સાઉથ વેસ્ટ EBP માસ્ક મેકિંગ પ્રોજેક્ટ સાથે જોડાયેલ છું। આ પ્રોજેક્ટમાં જોડાવાના ફાયદા એ છે કે સદંતર બધી બાજુ જે લોકડાઉન હતું એના હિસાબથી ઘરની અંદર થોડું ફાઇનાન્શિયલી બી પ્રોબ્લેમ હતો અને એના માટે અમને જે આ કામ ઘરે બેઠા મળ્યું છે એનાથી ઘણી બધી હેલ્પ થઈ છે કે મને સમથિંગ ગ્રોસરી માટે આખા મહિનાની ગ્રોસરી થઈ જાય એટલી અને બીજી બી હું હેલ્પ કરી શકું ઘરમાં એટલી મને આ પ્રોજેક્ટથી આ કામ મળવાથી મને હેલ્પ થઈ છે। હવે આ પ્રોજેક્ટમાં મને એક ઈ સારી વાત હતી કે EBPના જે મેમ્બર છે એ લોકો અમને બધું મટીરિયલ્સ યાને કે કપડું છે, ઇલાસ્ટિક છે વગેરે જે વસ્તુ છે એ બધું અમને પ્રોવાઈડ કરતા હતા અને એના બદલીમાં અમને જે એ લોકો પૈસા આપતા હતા, मतलब કે એક માર્ક્સના $2 હિસાબથી અમને ઘણી સારી એવી સારું એવું મેનતાણું મળેલું છે। તો અમે એવી આશા રાખીએ છીએ કે આ પ્રોજેક્ટ હજુ વધારે લાંબા ટાઈમ સુધી ચાલુ રહ્યો હોત તો ઇન્શાઅલ્લાહ ફાઇનાન્શિયલી બહુ જ સારી હેલ્પ થાત। પણ હવે અમે લોકો એવી આશા રાખીએ છીએ કે ઇકોનોમિક પ્લાનિંગ બોર્ડના જે મેમ્બર છે એ આવા બીજા બી કોઈ એવા પ્રોગ્રામ હોય એ લઈને આવે કે જેના થકી અમે ઘરની અંદર ઘરમાં રહીને અને સારી રીતે અમે અમારા फाइनेंशियली हेल्प करी सकिए।
याली मदद, मेरा नाम शायरोज़ पापवानी है। मैं अटलांटा हेडक्वार्टर जमात खाना डिकेटर से हूँ। हम लोग जो अभी जमात खाने की ओर से फेस कवर प्रोजेक्ट चल रहा है, मैं उसमें फेस कवर बनाती हूँ। इसमें हम लोग 17 लेडीज काम करते हैं और 10 वॉलंटियर्स हैं। और ये जो कोरोना वायरस के टाइम पे जॉब पे नहीं जा सकते थे, घर पे काम नहीं था, वो टाइम पे हम लोग को एक बहुत बड़ी हेल्प मिल गई है ये टाइम पे। और हम लोग इसमें अच्छे से करते जा रहे और अच्छा प्रॉफिट करे। मैं 3 महीने के अंदर 8500 अराउंड मेरे किट के पैसे निकाल के मैंने प्रॉफिट इसमें से लिया है। और जो ये सारा प्रॉफिट मैंने लिया है और जो ये सब मेरे को अभी घर बैठे इनकम चल रही है, मैं ये सारा क्रेडिट वॉलंटियर्स को देना चाहती हूँ। उन वॉलंटियर्स के लिए जो हम लोग सो के रहते थे मॉर्निंग में 9 o'clock और वो आते थे हमारे लिए, हमारी किट रेडी करके आते थे, हम लोग को किट दे के जाते थे, हमारा पिकअप करते थे, टाइम पे पेमेंट दे देते थे। तो मैं स्पेशली लैला मुखियानी माँ और उसकी टीम है उसको थैंक्स बोलना चाहती हूँ। मैं तहे दिल से उन लोग के लिए दुआ करना चाहती हूँ कि हमारे घर में वो टाइम पे खुशियाँ आई जो टाइम पे हम लोग को चाहिए ज़रूरत थी। वो टाइम पे आप लोग ये खुशियाँ हमारे घर में लेके आए, हम लोग को खुशियाँ मिली है, हम लोग को जो ज़रूरत थी वो टाइम पे मिल गया और बहुत खुश हो गए। हम सब 17 लेडीज़ की ओर से मैं आप सब के लिए, आप सब वॉलंटियर्स को थैंक यू बोलना चाहती हूँ। शायद मेरे पास थैंक यू वर्ड बहुत छोटा है, मैं दिल से जो भी बोल रही हूँ आप फील करो। और हम सब 17 लेडीज़ की ओर से थैंक यू सो मच।
I most recently participated in the Mayor's Milk Initiative with ICER volunteers from the Central Region. The Mayor's Milk Initiative project was in collaboration with the City of Dallas, Dallas ISD, and Borden Dairy Company. In the midst of COVID-19, there were local communities that were in need of essential food items in their households. And because of this, the City of Dallas, Borden Dairy Company, and Dallas ISD partnered together to provide these essential items to the community. As a volunteer with ICER, we were able to lead the efforts at one of the schools within Dallas ISD to distribute gallons of milk and various food items to those in need in the nearby community on 6 weekends between June and July. To the City of Dallas, to Borden's Dairy Company, Dallas ISD, and the ICER team, I would like to thank them for giving me and my wife the opportunity to serve the community during this pandemic and working through the logistics of executing the event with all the safety guidelines set by the city and the state. The team were phenomenal in terms of keeping the safety of all the volunteers and community members during this pandemic by having gloves, masks, and all of the resources available on site each week. Thank you all for your time and dedication to execute such a safe and impactful event.
The voluntary project I participated in was spending a week volunteering at the University of Central Asia in Narain, Kyrgyzstan, first creating a computer science curriculum from scratch, and then teaching it to the inaugural freshman class. This was part of a series called Connecting Your Discipline, where students rotated through 4 different subjects to determine their future majors. I had an absolutely amazing experience on campus and with students, and so I've gone back each year to help with this program and others. The idea of helping others has always been a passion of mine, and was the major inspiration for me to take part in this project. Before this project, all of my volunteer work has been USA focused. This was an opportunity to receive an international perspective on volunteering while simultaneously getting immersed in new cultures. Similar to many service projects, this opportunity has opened my eyes to new cultures and new friendships. I meet 70 amazing new university students each year I volunteer at UCA, and I keep in touch with many of them on a daily basis through text and video chats. I feel more connected to broader communities and get to meet people with more shared values as me. This leads to a more fulfilling lifestyle in general, where you realize that the most important elements of happiness are so simple and within all of our reach. Hazrat Imam has said that those who are fortunate enough to be blessed with the ability to receive a great education are then responsible for serving others. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that's one of the reasons why I want to give, not only because of what our Imam has said, but also how it makes me feel when I help others. 2 of the Diamond Jubilee goals are helping the International Jamaat and improving the institutions of higher education internationally within the AKDN.
Wow! Such impactful acts of service that are not only benefiting Jamaati members, but also members of the communities in which our Jamaats live. Next, we'd like to explore Seva through the lens of the ethic of inclusiveness. Islam's is an inclusive vision of society. The divine spark that bestows individuality also binds individuals in a common humanity. The Quran says, humankind has been created from a single soul, as male and female, communities and nations, so that people may know one another. It invites people of all faiths to a common platform to vie for goodness. This next set of programs strived to practice the ethic of inclusiveness with various groups in our Jamaat: children, young adults, seniors, and Jamaati members with special needs. We start with Connect Camp, the first ever virtual camp for the youth of the global Jamaat, launching a journey of exploration, learning, and creativity. Connect Camp was designed to strengthen connections amongst our global youth.
Yali Madad, my name is Imran Ali. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I was the camp director for Camp Connect. We typically offer Global Encounters Camp both in summer and winter months. In summer in particular, we host Global Encounters in Kenya, India, and Pakistan. However, due to the global pandemic, we were unable to offer this residential in-person camp. So just a few months ago, Global Encounters, as well as Aga Khan Youth and Sports Board globally came together as we were concerned about the impact of the global pandemic on our youth and their families. With schools and summer camp being canceled, we were particularly worried about the vacuum in opportunities for our youth to come together in order to make sense of this present moment, but also to engage meaningfully in hopeful and creative endeavors that would equip them and help them solve problems, negotiate complexities, express themselves, and build for the future. Hence, Camp Connect was born. I'm happy to say that we had over 1,000 participants from 39 different countries who joined us virtually for 2 weeks for Camp Connect. This camp would not have been possible without our amazing volunteers. This camp was pulled together in just 2 short months because we had over 350 volunteers from across the globe who helped us create this amazing camp experience for our participants. From designing and developing the IT infrastructure, to working on content that was engaging and meaningful, to working on logistics, admissions, marketing, every facet of camp was touched by these volunteers. They brought their skills, they brought their professionalism, and they helped us bring this camp to life. So we're very thankful to our volunteers.
Yali Madad. My name is Nisha Karasi and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Professionally, I work as a STEP teacher, and this past summer, I had the pleasure of serving as a program director for one of the 11 Connect families.
Yali Madad. I'm Rafiq Ahmed. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, but now live in Los Angeles, California, and I served as a PD or program director for Camp Connect, which means I was one of the leads for one of the 10 100-person family cohorts within the Connect program.
Yali Madad. My name is Naila Hussein. I'm from Los Angeles and from Las Vegas, and for Camp Connect, I was a senior technology director.
After having an unforgettable experience helping lead Global Encounters India last summer, I knew that going into 2020, my professional obligations would not allow me to participate in person this summer, but I hadn't realized the opportunity that I might still be able to participate virtually. And as the global community in Jamaat in 2020 has really dealt with the upheaval and uncertainty caused by COVID, Camp Connect has really presented a unique opportunity and challenge to reimagine the Global Encounters experience virtually and bring the spiritual and social connection that it provides to so many more of our youth. In person, GE typically has a reach of about a few hundred participants and staff, but virtually, even in the first inaugural year, we've been able to reach over 1,000 participants and bring together some of the most talented Ismaili professionals across the world in arts, culture, technology, health, education, business, you name it, to lead workshops, facilitate sessions, share their knowledge and wisdom with participants.
Being a part of programs like Camp Connect gives me the opportunity to make little strides to help bring the Jamaat together. And isn't that what it's all about? Since starting in 2012, this is the first year Global Encounters needed technology to run camp. Our technology team worked to help get 1,100 participants between 39 countries online and on the internet in ways just 2 months prior we did not even believe was possible. Technology was our way of keeping our Jamaat, our one Jamaat, connected.
So I think one of the ethics that we commonly hear Maulana Haji Imam talking about is this idea of pluralism and the notion of one Jamaat, or a global united brotherhood / sisterhood. And I think programs like Connect give life to these phrases. So we've become so accustomed to hearing about pluralism and about one Jamaat, but to see it in action, at least for me, it allows me to appreciate those values and ethics even more. So for example, with Connect, when you have a youth from Syria and one from Afghanistan and Pakistan and Tajikistan and India and Australia and Canada and the US and Portugal and Bangladesh and literally 39 countries coming together and learning about one another's cultures, or teaching one another their dances, or simply smiling together. You experience what one Jamaat means not only on an intellectual level, but also on an emotional level. It gives you this warmth in your heart that no matter what else is going on in this world, I have a family. I belong to this global, wonderful, supportive community.
As a result of the global pandemic, Camp Mosaic also transitioned to a virtual at-home experience.
My name is Zora Savja. I am from Orlando, Florida. Most recently, I had the privilege to serve as the project manager for Mosaic Magic at Home experience in the Florida region. Traditionally, Mosaic is a 6-day camp experience where Ismaili youth come together to learn about the values of their faith in a safe environment. This year was difficult. This year was unique. We had a great task on hand to bring the magic to our Ismaili youth in their homes, while still creating and keeping the fun aspect of it and allowing them to learn the values of our faith and also to create the lifelong bonds. We're living in unique times. This year, this experience was most needed. I can relate to it as a mother and as an educator. I work with youth day in and day out. And these are the times when our youth needed this experience the most, because our youth were really disconnected. Staying at home, not being able to communicate with their friends, not being able to see their community on a daily basis, not being able to go to school and enjoy their time over there. They were in their homes. As a project manager though, I was worried. Will we be able to meet the expectations that our youth have? But I must say, I was blessed to be part of a team which was also entirely made up of Ismaili youth from ages 14 and above, who gave their time, their skills, and their experience to bring the magic to our Ismaili youth at their homes.
The purpose of this project to give a wonderful and magical summer for our participants and keep the magic going. My role as a guide was to help with Mosaic Shake Assembly, small support, and I also help for I also translate for the people who doesn't speak English. I always try to be inclusive, and throughout camp I try to be inclusive by helping Farsi speakers who doesn't speak English.
Earlier this year, Youth and Sports Board hosted a program called Stories, an intergenerational journey initiative, in which college students were paired with senior members of the Jamaat to learn more about their history and life. Let's hear from someone about her experience.
My name is Saman Himani. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I recently participated in the Stories and Intergenerational Journey Initiative with AKYSP. So this initiative essentially paired college students or young professionals with senior citizens from the Jamaat to try and get more information about what their lives, their childhood, their journeys from other countries to the United States, their interactions with the Jamaat, and so on and so forth. And so essentially about 2 months ago, I was paired up with someone from my Jamaat and given her contact information, and I was given very open instructions to basically call at least once a week, if not more, and to just have a conversation about different topics. And each week we were assigned a topic and we could just ask them set questions or open questions about whatever it was that we wanted to about those topics. So hearing about her perspective and her life story coming from other countries, coming to the United States, growing up here, working here, was really eye-opening for me. And honestly, it kind of made me realize that there's a lot of conversations that I hadn't had with my own family members, my own grandparents, that were really important things that I should know. And so one of the benefits that I gained from this was just finding out things that I can talk about and questions that I can ask to people to learn more about their lives. And I think especially in the midst of coronavirus right now, it is really important to make our seniors feel valued in the Jamaat. And so I didn't take this as a singular opportunity. I took it as an opportunity to learn what all I can ask and to take in the reactions and then apply that to other senior citizens I know in the Jamaat, starting with my own grandparents. It was just a fun experience. It made me realize how service doesn't necessarily need to be anything grand. Service can definitely be something small, something meaningful that allows you to connect with someone. And I think that's probably the part of service that entices me the most, is that individual connection with someone else who can teach me something and who I can give something back to. So it's definitely a mutual street.
While the senior members of our Jamaat have extensive wisdom and great life experiences to share with us, they are one of the most vulnerable segments of our Jamaat as we experience this global pandemic. As a result, social welfare boards, iCare team members have been making weekly phone calls to check in on our seniors along with other Jamaati members. Over the last 5 months, iCare volunteers have made over 18,000 calls to ensure the safety, security, and health of our U.S. Jamaat.
I'm serving as an iCare volunteer for Southwest region. iCare is designed to provide services to seniors who are 65 years and older for their mental, their emotional, and their social support to improve their quality of life. मौला के करम से जब से आई केयर शुरू हुआ है तब से मैं आई केयर के साथ जुड़ी हुई हूँ। आई केयर का मेन पर्पस है अपने सीनियर्स को उनकी नीड को समझते हुए अपने डिफरेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस जैसे कि होप, गोल्डन क्लब और AGI के क्लासेस वगैरह से कनेक्ट रखना। My role is talk with iCare beneficiaries one-on-one or on the phone twice a month to understand their requirements and connect them to the right resources. मैं हमेशा ये सोचती हूँ कि अगर ये सेवा करने का मौका मुझे मिला है तो मैं अपने आप को बहुत ही खुशकिस्मत समझती हूँ कि ये सेवा की अपॉर्चुनिटी मुझे मिली है।
Members of the Social Welfare Board team have also been engaging with Jamaati members with special needs through the Creative Learning Center.
My name is Ashraf Mikani. I live in Dallas, Texas. I am part of Aga Khan Social Welfare Board. I am the lead for Creative Learning Center CLC in Central Region. We have a small segment of Jamaat that is differently able. They do not fit society's norm or the criteria, and thus sometimes there is a disconnect, and that's why this segment of Jamaat is marginalized. People, just because they cannot express themselves, people think they cannot understand or they don't have feelings, and thus they either ignore them. There are times people make fun of them or even feel sorry for them. So our team, Creative Learning Center, is really an advocate. We advocate to make them feel part of the Jamaat. They can be proud of themselves and not feel left out. It runs under the guidance of Aga Khan Social Welfare Board. And here we try to, it's more of a learning center where they learn, and we try to help each individual learn according to the way they learn, not the way a normal or how everybody learns. It's more creative, and that's why the name Creative Learning Center. I don't even remember when and how I got involved, but it must be over 10 years ago. And once I joined, I think I'm truly blessed. I work in collaboration with a team, and I'm very fortunate that I have a colleague, Natasha Panjwani, Zarinta Lalani, and a team of super passionate, super talented, and very loving individuals. So we all are like a puzzle. We cannot function without each other. We help each other out, and we really truly blessed, I think. But once the Jamaat Khana closures were announced, I think our team stepped up and we realized these are extremely challenging time for our students, because it's very hard for them to express and sometimes even comprehend why they cannot go to Jamaat Khana. So our volunteers stepped up to the challenge and they wanted to really make this fun. And so as soon as we realized the Jamaat Khana was closed, our Zoom classes, we in fact, instead of once a week, we started our classes twice a week. And our volunteers and our team worked really hard to make it fun, engaging. So it was more like not only students and parents having fun, volunteers have more fun than them.
I had read somewhere that we should plant trees under whose shade we do not plan to sit. And this to me epitomizes selfless sacrifice. The spark of hope I see in a Jamaati member's eyes, the dignity a Jamaati member feels when they are self-sufficient, and ultimately when they are empowered enough to say that they want to volunteer to help someone the way they were helped, is what makes everything worthwhile for me.
Our Jamaati members have engaged in numerous selfless Seva opportunities during these unprecedented times. We asked our volunteers to leave us with some parting words of inspiration.
No duty is big or small. Volunteerism is volunteerism. You do not have to wear a uniform to be a volunteer. You can just sit down and listen to somebody who is having a bad day. That's also volunteerism.
Find those little ways of serving, including having a conversation with someone, and do it. Don't think about what service looks good. Don't think about what service is best. Just serve wholeheartedly and serve unequivocally, and then it'll feel right.
My advice to the next generation of Ismailis: if you have not yet spent a lot of time volunteering, that's completely fine. It does not take an international trip to a university to make a difference. The difference can be made with half an hour of your time in your local community or in your Jamaat Khana. That's all it takes. If you enjoy it, which I hope you do, there are many more opportunities you can further involve yourself in bettering the community and the Jamaat worldwide.
Each individual has a purpose, so try to find yours through Jamaati Seva.
Keep a balance between deen and dunya. Find a purpose in life. Don't get lost in your own little world. Save some time for others too. Sharing your time and knowledge is a very satisfying deed.
Sometimes there will be no recognition or no title. But always remember, Mola says, there are murids who I can see with my eyes, and there are murids who I can fill with my heart.
But if you can figure out some sort of enjoyment in your giving back to the community, whether it's this community or any other community, then this becomes so easy to put a smile on people's faces and achieve that satisfaction or that internal satisfaction. Say, okay, I did my objective, right? But again, what I would say to everybody that kind of looks at this is that we have incredibly young people and incredibly people murids around the Jamaat, even within the community, that do good work. But the ones that really get it are the ones that personally enjoy their experience.
If you've ever been a beneficiary of a Jamaati program, for example, if you're a participant at Camp Mosaic, attended Durbar during Diamond Jubilee, or if you were a student in REC. All those experiences were created by our volunteers. So my advice is simply to pay it forward. Serve wholeheartedly. Bring your expertise, your skill set, your professionalism, and help build our communities, both locally as well as globally. Also, continue to serve so you can inspire the next generation to sustain this long-lasting tradition of volunteerism and seva in our faith.
So here's my advice for the next generation. Life moves really fast, and sometimes we chase what's going to make us ready for dunya. The little secret that I have is that what Seva has offered me has made me such a competitive individual in my workplace. What I have learned from doing Seva has made me more successful than I would have ever imagined. I would say that give as much as you can. Even if it's an hour a week, offer what you can. This will get you ready for the din part of your journey. Do what makes you happy, and do it so that you can be a part of making others happy, because happiness that you provide to others will automatically bring happiness to you.
For many of us, seva is as second nature as breathing. And perhaps that's a blessing in our community to be part of such a selfless group of people. I think the more I thought about it, it made me realize that for me, seva is an appreciation of all of the work that the imam does for us. So we know that our imam and all of the imamate institutions do so much for us and have been doing so much for us day and night, tirelessly for centuries, for the betterment of not only the Jamaat, but for humanity at large. And so to me, seva is the opportunity to play a small role in bringing to fruition the imam's continued vision of a better tomorrow.
The importance of contributing one's individual energies on a voluntary basis to improving the lives of others. This is not a matter of philanthropy, but rather of self-fulfillment, enlightened self-fulfillment.